Google Ads are phishing and malware, US sanctions, Chinese-based bad actors, and another Fortinet issue. I'm Allie Diamond, and this is ThreatWire. The Google Ads conversation is starting again. Google has a known issue, but it seems like there's not much Google will actively do to fix it. In a blog post from the team at Malware, they outline how Google ad users are being targeted with phishing ads to collect platform credentials. Google has been showing a lot of ads recently, and we're all very aware. With the ad's prominence on results pages, users are more likely to click on an ad that has the results they're looking for versus the non-ad result, as they know it's going to be the same final website and lead to the same final result. But that's not actually what's going on here. The issue is that Google Ads doesn't actually show the final URL of the website you will be redirected to on click. Instead, you can customize what that URL looks like. Via the blog post, hackers are using Google website creation domains, sites.google.com, to host phishing sites to enable Google ad users to log into, allowing for credential harvesting. One of the interesting things about the blog post and the actual write-up is that it shows exactly how to break down the advertisement, and that you can actually analyze Google Ads to see exactly who the advertiser is and the physical geolocation of the advertiser. Analysis of this specific Google Ads phishing campaign has shown that two different groups have been prolific with this scheme, one of which is based out of Brazil and the other from Hong Kong. The original blog post about Google credential stealing was published on January 15th, but on January 18th, a thread on Twitter took off showing that the same final URL hiding scheme was being used to target developers, specifically developers looking to install Homebrew, a very common Mac package management system. They would be advertised a website that looks like Homebrew, but the redirect URL actually had an extra letter in it. Running the instructions to install this expected version of Homebrew actually installs malware on the computer. According to the researchers, Google has been made aware of this phishing scheme and this exact scheme in the past. However, Google has chosen not to act on it. In response to the cybersecurity mess that happened at the end of 2024, US government departments have started to lock in. As a refresher, Salt Typhoon was pinned to be the threat actor group that gained backdoor access to US telco companies in late 2024. In addition, something that we didn't cover here on ThreatWire was that the US Department of Treasury was hacked via a backdoor of a third-party cybersecurity vendor in late December 2024. On January 17th, the Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, or OFAC, announced sanctions against an individual, Yin Keqiang, and Sichuan-based cybersecurity company, Sichuan Zhujianhe Network Technology. Apologies for the mispronunciation. Yin Keqiang is believed to have been an integral part in the hack of the US Department of Treasury and is said to be, quote, a cyber actor for over a decade and is affiliated with the People's Republic of China Ministry of State Security, or MSS. Sichuan Zhujianhe Network Technology Company Limited is pointed at having direct ties to Salt Typhoon and to have had direct involvement with the US telco infiltration. These sanctions mean that, quote, all property and interests in property of the designated persons described in this article or in the announcement that are in the United States or in possession or control of US persons are blocked and must be reported to OFAC. Fortinet's not having a good time right now. It started with the release of information regarding CVE 2024-55591. The Fortinet Labs team published an advisory about this new CVE and how it is affecting the FortiOS and FortiProxy products. The CVE, given a CVSS score of 9.6, affects FortiOS versions 7.0 to 7.0.16 and FortiProxy versions 7.2.0 through 7.2.12 and 7.0.0 through 7.0.19. The actual CVE at hand is an authentication bypass that allows attackers to gain super admin access via well-crafted requests to the Node.js WebSocket module. They've posted indicators of compromise for the CVE, which we've linked down below. Resolutions include upgrading to the next versions of Fortinet, which are available now. At the same time this week, a hacking group by the name of Belson Group shared on hacking forums the config files, IP addresses, and VPN credentials of over 15,000 FortiGate instances. The information was shared by the group for free. At the beginning of the year, and as a positive start for us, and in order to solidify the name of our group in your memory, we are proud to announce our first official operation will be published of sensitive data from over 15,000 targets worldwide, both governmental and private sectors, that have been hacked and their data extracted, said Belson Group on hacking forums. The total breach is 1.6 gigabytes of data and has been confirmed to be real. Researcher Kevin Beaumont shared a blog post series about his exploration and validation of this information, and that the data, though, is not recent. He accredits access of this data to utilizing a 2022 zero-day tracked as CVE 2022 40684. Thank you so much for watching ThreatWire for the week of January 20th, 2025. If you want to head over and support this ad-free show, you can go over to patreon.com/ThreatWire. Would people want me to live stream rating ThreatWire more frequently on the Hack5 channel? Please let me know in the comments below. And as per usual, if you want to find me online, you can find me everywhere at endingwithali. I'm really looking to publish more short form content soon, but short form content with some substance, a la the TikTok ban occurring and then not occurring, kind of confusing. But as per usual, and remember, good luck, have fun, and don't get caught.